Your Excellency, first of all, I would like to ask you about your experience. So you have experience in establishing AI ministry back in 2017, and now Kazakhstan is creating the same institution. And I would like to ask you, what mistakes have you seen ministry make at the start, so that Kazakhstan can avoid based on your experience? And as we're talking about 2017 and 2025, what has changed since then in approaching AI development?
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure participating in this very important gathering of some of the greatest minds when it comes to artificial intelligence. When it comes to establishing a ministry from scratch and maybe setting forth a vision, it's important to focus on the things that will continue to provide value for a long period of time. I'll give you an example. In the past, when it came to artificial intelligence, the focus was on self-driving cars, on computer vision systems. No one was talking about large language models. But in the UAE, we did not focus on the technology specifically, we focused on developing human capital. And the human capital that we developed in the UAE has led to the actual outcomes that we're seeing today. And from what I heard from His Excellency the President and Their Excellencies the Ministers, the focus is really on that in Kazakhstan, which to me proves that Kazakhstan is extremely forward-looking, will have hopefully great results come out of this, and will be able to build a talent pool that is global in nature, that will be able to serve the globe and all the requirements of different companies and countries around the world.
And do we have any metrics or results? For example, how can we say if the ministry is effective? For example, maybe any metrics or results that ministry should achieve within 1, 2, 5 years. So how can we define the success of the Ministry of AI?
So there are three main domains that I would urge that Kazakhstan focus on. The first is savings is excellent as a metric. However, it's not just focusing on how much money you save, it's focusing on quality of life improvement. So citizen satisfaction when it comes to the actual services that are being deployed, plus the economic return of savings that are created from them. So that's, let's say, the first domain. The second, which is a clear metric that should be measured, is how many people are technically able to utilize artificial intelligence in Kazakhstan. Every single person that's able to utilize AI effectively is more productive than a person who does not utilize AI more, in their day-to-day life. So I think percentage utilization, especially for the first period, is very, very important. And then the third is actually how many companies become AI native companies that start within Kazakhstan, and then measuring their growth over time. There are many startups, I'm sure, that exist in Kazakhstan. You can do two measures. One is how many of them pivot towards artificial intelligence. The second is how many companies start with AI as their core principle. One thing we did in the UAE that was very, very beneficial was we launched trade licenses that are specifically focused on AI companies. So if you're going to establish a company, if you indicate that it's an AI company, your trade license is different to a normal digital business, for example. And then we measure the number of companies that are starting with that core principle in the way that they're doing business.
Thank you. And I would like to mention that the UAE has strengthened its position with implementing Arabic language into AI platforms and developing its own platform and advancing even digital, cultural, and linguistic projects. So we have the same challenge with Kazakh language. I would like to ask you about what were the major difficulties with implementing Arabic language into AI platforms, and what steps would be useful for Kazakhstan and Kazakh language?
So I'm not sure if the challenge is one that will be relevant to Kazakhstan, but in the UAE, for example, and in the Middle East region, there are so many different dialects of the Arabic language. And implementing AI on the Arabic language, one of the challenges that we had was how does the AI understand all the dialects and all the things associated with the different dialects. I think this is something that, if it is relevant to Kazakhstan, the more training you provide the large language model, the better the outcomes are going to be. The second thing, and I think I was actually very impressed by His Excellency the President, the number of languages that are spoken. So His Excellency the President, even during the council meeting, spoke in multiple languages, proficiently in English, in Kazakh, and other languages as well. One of the challenges we have in the UAE is we don't need just a model that focuses on Arabic. Arabic is the core language, but having a very diverse population and a multilingual population, we needed to speak English as effectively as Arabic. We need to speak all the other languages as effectively as it's speaking Arabic as well. So I think this is one of the things that I would urge Kazakhstan to partner and to work with other countries to ensure that you don't start from zero every single time, that you start where everyone else leaves off, and you build a very robust ecosystem when it comes to linguistics.
Yeah, thank you. And about another topic, so the world is rapidly moving towards AI regulation. So we have the European Union with its AI Act, we have United Nations with advisory body, we have United States that's debating on the transparency regulations. So my question would be, is it possible to have global unified rules, or the regulation will remain fragmented, divided by blocks and regions?
That's a fantastic question. So I think it's two parts. The first part is, for certain things, you cannot actually regulate them until it's global. So deepfakes, for example, are very difficult to regulate unless there's a global regulation of them. On other parts, it's about local regulations. So what I think needs to happen is there needs to be a very agile legislative process in Kazakhstan to deploy regulations whenever necessary on things that are important domestically, where there is control domestically. And where there isn't, so for example, deepfakes can be produced anywhere on earth and spread in your country. So it's very difficult for you to regulate it just in Kazakhstan. You need to work on a global coalition on that front. On issues like that specifically, I think the right answer would be to join the global coalitions, the international bodies, to ensure that you join your voice with everyone else, to ensure that there is action. And then, have a balance between local and international efforts when it comes to regulation.
Thank you so much for your insights. Yeah, thank you so much.